Hello. Okay, yeah.
I'm very confused.
What's one? Is this the game?
Listen, I'm doing a sound
Hello.
test. Can you please be quiet? Go ahead.
Hello. 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 Okay. Yeah. It's right in the yellow.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, what's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Yeah. It's right here.
Really? Okay.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Don't hang with a nigga who lying for nothing. I see that we different, you riding, I double. I don't do discussions on bragging about hundreds. Don't go to your places, I know that they sunken. Don't call me your brother, I barely could trust you. I talked to a shorty, she bagging the bucket. And I'ma need all of my dollars on corporate, so hand me the money, I divvy the pie. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune on flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe. And 40 on 50 is really the time. Why is you all on my phone like you want me? Like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side. I don't know if you bitches are thinking I'm blind. Cross on my crosses and dot on my eyes. Done with your efforts, I'm dealing with pressures. I know it's a lesson, that's word of the wise. Dubbing the mixes I'm mixing, I know I've been missing. I needed some personal time. Fuck all the pictures, dimensions. I don't with your digits, I mean it, I'm staying inside. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it.
Listen as your day unfolds. Challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wise. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be strong, guy. You save the day. Herald what your mother said. Read the books your father read. Try to shelve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some might have more cash than you. Others take a different view. My, oh my. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be strong, guy. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love is safe today. You gotta be, you gotta be, you gotta be, you gotta be, you gotta be. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record, for the record, for the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. Frozen. 8-6 all the hate. I won't get involved today. Got lost in the balling age. I'm flipping the bars. I'm flipping the. On record, off record. I still count wins when they doubt it. On record, off record. I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals. Tell them talk to Colin for the quote. On record, off record. I still want the act, not the ghost. Running through it with the young influence. Adolescent presence. Also coming to it. I've been giving yeses when I shouldn't do it. I complete ejected, but the moves elusive and I'm barely moving, but I'm still gon' boost them. I can work on winnings when I know you're losing, so I with the winners and they throw the deuces. Guess I have to pivot, shooting the bazookas for the facts. I need racks, paper cash, fuck a tax. That's a joke. Tell them laugh. Uncle Sam, fuck out the bag. Brody plot, but get a whack. Contract, give me the max. I got lab on my back. You ain't that, then it's raps. Whoa. For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, yeah. For the record.
what must be done.
Hello, stream, and welcome to the Big Sky Conference. This is the Gooseman TV, and I will be your play-by-play caster for tonight's game. NAU headed off versus Weber State University. I am joined by my wonderful, beautiful color caster. Take it away, Jerry.
Yeah, it's going to be the Harry Jerry Power Hour here tonight. And, like you said, Weber University against here NAU in the Big Sky Conference. And it should be a fun match, as always. And
Let's see.
looks like the scores are pretty good, for the tournament. NAU currently is at 5-0 or 6-0.
Oh, yeah.
Should probably know my stats. Probably be good. But regardless,
Just know they're doing fantastic,
yep,
Jerry.
they have not lost a single round. And we're hoping to keep that the same tonight. And here, as we load here into the draft, we're going to be seeing some nice picks and bans. And as we load into the first game, and I mean, off the bat, we're going to be picking up that Jinx. Getting that ADC off the bat, but it also allows, NAU here to maybe try to pick something around this Jinx. So, I mean, they're going to pick the Nautilus here. Nautilus being that nice lane presence, that dredge line being so powerful, getting in fights, getting out of fights, being able to bully people down, keeping, you kind of control bot lane when you're playing Nautilus. It's that Dreadline just is one of the most dangerous abilities in the game, and you really have to respect it.
Yeah, Dredge line is going to be a really hard engage for NAU in the bot lane, and that could be paired with any ADC right now, and I'm excited to see what NAU comes out with, because they have been known for flexing their picks very nicely, and we do see. Oh, that's interesting. There's no Evelyn fan.
So I would like to mention, so they pick off the Hecarim off the bat. However, Funbari Onsen is an Evelyn main, currently in Masters with Evelyn, and rated very, very high in the world. I can't give you an exact number. And there it is. So as long as I've been casting this team, Evelyn has been banned every single game. And I think Weber here just messed up with that. They're letting
game is still beginning in the draft. We have a lot of things that could counter Evelyn.
So I mean off the bat though, they do have the Hecarim and they do have the Thresh. So Hecarim and Evelyn a matchup here. It's pretty even. It's a fairly even matchup. It just depends on who gets head first. Which Evelyn is that she does have a lot weaker of an early game, where Hecarim has if he brings Ghost, it does have a better of an early game. And they do have the Thresh, being just a tank support, having a bit of CC. However, regardless of who someone is in the match, if Evelyn does get ahead, the Evelyn will one-shot anyone, regardless of what they build, if they do get ahead far enough, quick enough. But Evelyn can fall off pretty quickly if you do deny her kills and let her get the Dark Seal stacks up and the gold starting to come in, so they can start finish off the items quickly. However, with the ultimate, that last caress, being able to execute someone, Evelyn can catch up very, very quickly in a match by, stealing kills or even just getting assists and having that Magi Soul Stealer built. Evelyn is one of those champions that even from behind can always catch up with well-timed ults.
You guys aren't seeing it, but this guy is geeking out right now. He will be mentioning every ability name, mentioning every single way that Evelyn wants to play out a fight. And that's because Evelyn just has a lot up her arsenal. And I was wondering if Weber State University was going to pick the Lysandra here to try to go for an anti-assassin team comp. Yet they didn't. They just decided to go on this really hard engage with a lot of backline access. And to be honest with you, I don't think Evelyn's going to be fearful for anything coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, off the bat, Kama Bird, has a lot of time and experience on Kayle, is going to be going into that Shen, having just a bit of range. Shen does have the nice dash, can taunt, and so the early game, Kayle is going to have quite a bit of a trouble, especially if the Hecarim is going to be trying to gank Kayle over and over, being that champion that is very, very slow and can't really do a whole lot without the ultimate to be able to get out of fights. And so, Kama Bird here is going to have to play very, very careful. But with Funbari Onsen on the Evelyn here, being able to sit invisible and, being a champion that can really actually just sit in a bush and wait for a while, waiting for a kill, makes it very, very strong. So, I mean, even they might actually want the ganks to go top towards this Kayle, because then they can, combo and get all that damage off.
That would be gnarly. That would absolutely be gnarly if NAU can decide this game in the beginning when they have scaling champs. it would be a little bit of a disaster for Weber State, and I mean that lightly. This could be an onslaught of absolute mechanics being given over to the side of NAU. They could just expose Weber for all their little cracks in the entire game. And I think with Evelyn on the NAU side, there are going to be a lot of visible cracks for this side of Weber State.
Yeah, but I mean, another thing to mention too is that Weber State actually picked 3 tanks into this comp for this for the Evelyn. You know, they have the Zaya here as well. You know, being the nice champions that do a lot of burst damage, and then maybe kind of have to back off. Except for maybe Zaya, you know, is a nice ADC. Just auto attacks are always there. But having those tanks, you know, does kind of negate the damage of the assassins. But if they can even just get ahead off of, you know, someone like Jinx and Zillion in the early game, or even just, you know, having help off of to get the other kills to kill the tanks, you know, the assassins don't care how much health you have if they do get ahead. So the Weber State is going to definitely have to be very, very careful about this and how they play this. Because, you know, then the Corki as well, you know, into the Zillion here. Zillion, you know, being actually moving into the mid lane a lot more than the support lane. Especially a lot recently. You know, he's a very, very good champion with tied up with Zillion Hecarim combo here is absolutely really, really strong. So, I mean, Zillion, you know, is able to speed boost up the Hecarim, and Hecarim gets more damage based on how much speed he has. Pops Ghost, pops his E, pops, you know, if he has Predator, has that. Chem Tank, you know, if he has that. And is able to get a lot of damage off. And Hecarim can just sit on the tower because he has a lot of sustain being that tank and having a lot of healing in his kit, as well as having the Zillion's ult to be able to, you know, negate those tower shots and bring him right back to life so he can stay under the tower. Makes it such a strong combo for this mid lane.
Okay, yeah, I see exactly where you're going with this, but I guess I will resign what I said and say I think a lot of people would like to see the side of Weber State just pull out this really nasty combo that they have. Zillion just being able to prevent the death of anybody on his team. That could be Jinx or or Hecarim. And when it comes down to Shen, who has this global presence on the map, anytime his ult is up, they have something here for Weber State, but there could be a lot of trouble if things get a little out of hand at the beginning.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's really just you know, NAU here, they want to get ahead in the beginning. They have that Corki, they have that Evelyn, they have that Zaya, you know, nice scaling champions. And then, well, Kale is just trying to scale towards the end of the game. And, you know, where Weber State here does have a nice, you know, fairly defensive, you know, comp here. However, the Hecarim is another very aggressive champions to help him with that initiation. They have the hook from Thresh. They have the taunt from Shen. Shen be able to teleport down. Jinx just having that range. They do have a nice bit of engage, but they are playing a lot more defensive compared to the offensive start of NAU here.
All right, I'm shaking in my boots. We are loading into the game. Let's see if we can find out if there's any particular runes or setups that we might have gotten to in the beginning. And right off the bat, I can tell you this is going to be a mess of a game.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, right off the bat, you know, we can talk about, you know, phase rush onto Hecarim. 3 separate attacks gives him a nice bit of movement speed towards the target. You have the summon Airy on Zillion there, just a little bit extra poke damage from those auto attacks. And as well as Corki here, actually, with the with the new, somewhat new rune, I guess, the first strike, has actually been very, very strong on him, and has you know, being that range champion in the mid lane, is able to get a lot of that poke out and be able to get that extra damage and extra gold, which is quite nice. However, I'd like to inform you guys that there was a ping problem for Weber State here, and so there's gonna be a short delay, and we're just gonna have to sit there just for a minute. It won't take too long.
I want you to think about playing on a 200-second delay, and it is not fun. I think we did get mentioned from the players that even during the selection of the champs, it was still going on. So I don't know. This could be a while. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, we're all here for a good time, not a long time. And I will turn off the chat. You know, chat gives away so many things that give this game such a spice that I only want to keep that hidden for now.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to see any unnecessary toxicity. I doubt it's going to come out, but you never know. However, you know, I'd like to mention for some reason, red side here is their icons are a bit off on the screen
Yeah, that's
for
so
some
weird.
reason. But I mean, it's there. We're good as long as it's not just completely disappeared. And as well as
Just-
Kale just being off to the right a
Just
little
when you
bit.
get the overlays, all set up
Oh,
nice
yeah,
and pretty.
come on.
Riot Games does it again with their client. I'm frozen right now. That's gonna be tilting for the casters.
Alright, put your
Not
back
so much
into
for the
it.
players though, I hope. As I'm sure they are mad
Dust it
clicking their
off.
keys and their mouse right now as they are in the
30
game.
seconds until minions spawn.
But casters trouble. You know what I mean, Jerry?
Well, it's not even really our fault. Actually, look at the little invade. Evelyn having such a crazy, weak early game. The invade is very, very possible, and as we're already seeing it here, it's finding an Evelyn that's trying to take a camp. You usually can get a kill unless their team is paying attention and comes up to try to help. But their Evelyn's going to have that electrocute there, help with the early game damage. It's going to allow them to get after 3 separate attacks with that Q being able to spam 4 times. It's going to be able to proc that electrocute quite nicely and allow for the little bit extra burst damage in the early game, allowing for that little bit of snowball.
I really want to see in this game if Fumbarionson decides to go for a little bit of a early level advantage onto the mid lane. Net, is very well aware of what Evelyn is capable of. So maybe they might just set up the Zillion here for a nasty level 3 gank in the mid lane.
And I'd like to mention too, Kama Bird actually destroyed that ward, meaning that the Kama Bird's actually going to hit level 2 before Shen does. And so we might see a little bit of aggressive playing from Kama Bird against the Shen once the level 2 does come out.
And Net grabs himself a little bit of HP from the Zillion there, trying to whittle his health down. I mean, just a little quirky thing as he is simply just going to roam all over this lane in his little tiny helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, Corky, being a mid laner, he has some mobility. When he has that package, he is able to traverse landscapes very, very far.
Oh, big flash flail coming in from Thresh. Dritz has to get this nasty hook, but he actually misses the kill. But he did land the hook and the flay. It's just a matter of how the damage went out.
Yeah, I mean, they just traded, Thresh's flash for Zaya's flash there. So it's, it's a trade. It's nice. Dritz here still has his Hex flash up. He has that nice rune. And so, I mean, they just have to be careful because Twig does have the flash and can take some damage if he needed.
Yeah, this is really depressing though. An ADC without flash, they have to position themselves for the rest of the game, or for the rest of the time that the flash is on cooldown. And ADCs, they just have the worst timings ever with flashes. And speaking of worst timings, we get another pause. Yet another one.
Yeah, I mean, not really entirely sure what's really happening. I'm not actually entirely sure even which side it's even happening on. It looks like all of our players here are at least doing fine from what it looks like, so I'm not sure. But obviously, like the last pause, it was a ping issue, a high ping issue, so someone must have disconnected. And hopefully it doesn't last too long.
Yeah, hopefully this doesn't turn into a scuffed event, as we do get a lot of those as casters.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to mention here that Net is starting that tier of the Goddess here, so just try to get that, a little bit extra, start to stack in that early, so you can maybe build that actually first item. Corky's being one of those champions that does not build, for the most part, usually does not build that, their mythic first item. Usually about third item has been the meta recently, and sometimes even fourth. It really just depends on the game here, but we're probably mostly going to see it here. Going to be that third item is after the Ravenous Hydra, as well as the Manamune into Muramana, Muramana into Manamune, and then we're probably going to see that Crown of the Shattered Queen more than likely, having that little bit of hybrid build, AP and AD damage.
Yeah, it's super hybrid, especially all of Corky's abilities. Well, when he gets level 6, he gets the rockets, and those just do a ton of splash damage, Jerry. A ton. And the Omnivamp on his kit is allowing him to just kind of really go for nasty pokes and heal right back up, but it's only 33% effective when it drops down on the enemy's head. So, Corky, he just has so much at his disposal that I'm actually amazed that what the heck is Nightbot doing? I'm sorry, Cameron's sibling. I think that is Cameron's sibling.
So I like to mention here too that so both Hecarim and Evelyn, they started on the same side of the map, blue and red respectively, and they're actually, which means that they're actually going to be hitting. They're actually going to be coming out of their jungles about the same time, meaning that might be fighting over the Scuttle Crab. And as we see here, Thresh and Jinx are actually pushed up and has Piccolo and Twig under tower, meaning that if Hecarim and Evelyn do start fighting, that they're really going to have Net have to push down, and whereas Piccolo and Twig are going to have to take a bit longer to try and come up to the fight when they are pushed under tower, and Dunatic and Dritz are able to just walk up freely. And so you have to be very, very careful when if they're going to try to fight over the Scuttle, unless they're just going to try to walk their separate ways. But I would imagine that Weber State is actually going to be trying to fight the Evelyn, because I'm sure they do know.
They should be, Jerry. Except so much could go wrong if NAU gets the read on you, and then next thing you know, Hecarim, now he's behind, and then you could possibly lead the bot lane into their own demise.
Yeah, no, it's both teams really have to be very, very careful here. There's a champion, Jinx and Hecarim. You do not want kills on them, and same as Weaver here. They do not want the kills on the Evelyn or the Xayah, and so
Lumberjax real low against the blue. Just get the smite though. Solid work, and I'm not even gonna say anything until it fixes itself. This is expected.
I mean, it's it's just one of those Riot Client kind of days. Hopefully it'll fix itself. But looks like we're gonna actually have from Janssen here actually moving up to the mid lane, but maybe looking up for that push in top lane. And because Zillion here is pushed under his tower, and Hecarim is actually going to be taking that Scuttle, or he is actually going to be taking that.
I'm not going to lie to you, Jerry. Evelyn has nothing to absolutely push for the beginning of the game, and I think Lumberjax just really wants to get that level 6 power spike, and they won't be able to respect that on the Weaver State side when it comes down to it.
Actually, you see that the Thresh, Jinx, and Hecarim actually went up into the blue side.
Too late, though.
Lumberjax was actually already gone, actually in the top lane. Excuse me. And was actually already in the top lane, already long gone. They were looking for the kill. They know that this Evelyn here is not, is very, very weak in the early game. So they are trying to be very careful, and they're trying to, catch Lumberjax out. And we're already seeing the fear of the Evelyn, what they've done wrong. They did not ban the champion, so they're going to try to play around it and try to see if they can catch Lumberjax out alone in the jungle.
Well, let there be rain, as now NAU is doing a little bit of a slow thing for the rest of the game. I mean, it's just damage, just a little trades, and I don't think anything much will come from these plays until something meaningful comes up, maybe like a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, so we have that dragon here up here right now. First dragon of the game, going to be the Hex Tech Dragon. And I mean, really nothing's really happened. No significant damage has happened to anyone except for maybe Piccolo, who did get the flash out. But I mean, even then, we're just seeing a couple backs here and there from different lanes. We're seeing just a lot of farming. NAU here is really just trying to scale. I'm sure Lumberjax in here, once that 6 is hit, is going to be looking for some kills. However, because it actually does have that Dark Seal now. However, they might actually just even give over the dragon, because they are just trying to farm right now.
If they're gonna have to decide if the dragon is worth it, and I think NAU's already taken their back here. If they really wanted to, they could rush their way from the base into the dragon pit, but I don't think that's gonna happen, or it would be too risky.
It looks like some pings going down.
Yeah, Thresh does spot out the Evelyn. Clearing camp. Not much threat there though, as Evelyn is still level 5.
Yeah, so I mean, they're just gonna give over this dragon here, and they're just gonna keep doing their thing. They're gonna keep farming. Top lane's just gonna keep doing their thing, not contribute to anything whatsoever, and we have ourselves another timer.
That is another timer.
Very, very fun.
During this time, KO could be scaling, Jerry.
Yeah, so we're 5 minutes already down out of the 30 minutes on this timer right here. What happens if it hits 0? Do they just whoever team just kept pausing the most, so they just get to forfeit?
I think they automatically forfeit.
Is it
that would be competitively integral?
But is it what if both teams have like 15 minutes each? You know.
It's not possible. You know, most of the time that's statistically improbable, but I'm sure it's coded in the game. I don't know what the code is like, all right, but I do know that the game is now paused, and there's 6 minutes on the clock in the beginning. I'm sure our delay is not helping this bit at all, but players should be back in their zones as soon as the pause is alleviated.
Yeah, I did take a little peek. They are currently unpaused when they are playing, but we do have a 5-minute delay on this match
Don't
for
say that out loud.
for the
Jay.
Big Sky Conference rules and terms and rules. It's, you know, it does say that we do need a 5-minute delay, unfortunately, but we're playing against the rules here, and so I mean,
Use your Prime subs, everybody. This will actually help the stream quality. Please subscribe with the Prime subs. I'm telling you this because I need this. This is actually going towards my college education. Please help us get rid of these problems in the stream.
I mean, the only problem is the Riot client, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
There's nothing I can do about that. Not with Prime sub money, but I really wish this was a different outcome for everybody.
Yeah,
I'm starving. I'm not gonna lie. I am starving. So just seeing this, it's kind of ticking me.
you're trying to just get in and out, you know, quick game, maybe to 3, hopefully to 2, and just go and munch. I feel that.
I just felt like if I fasted during the stream, I would get more excited at the plays.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why? It's pretty shalom.
Okay, whatever you say. But I mean, this what we can see is, you know, NAU is here up 300 gold or so, and the next dragon is going to be that Cloud Soul, meaning we will not Cloud Dragon, which means we will not have the Cloud Soul or the Hextech Dragon.
Let's explain what the Hextech Drake actually does.
6 ability haste and 6 attack speed. Boom.
And what will that do for the side of Weber State in the early game?
Well, I can tell you this, that Hecarim, a lot of the items that he does build do give him that nice bit of ability haste, and just having that little bit extra, you know, in the game does help nice, allows him to spam that Q a bit more, and you know, allows him, you know, have that little extra healing up from his W, just so you can bring it up more often. But I don't think overall the Hextech Dragon is actually impactful as a dragon, say like the Ocean Drake. It's gonna you know, it's gonna be as impactful, but it is gonna be more impactful than something like the Cloud Drake than in the early game. And there we go.
Right back in it, Jerry. I did press the button there, but I am gonna only say the right things for this time. Oh, that's a big Shen taunt. He's getting in there with the sword. Kama Bird just kind of freezes.
We cannot make this up. We cannot make this up. Okay, I mean, it was actually really interesting about this is that Shen is actually diving a Kale at level 6 and not before level 6.
Yeah, I mean, Kale could definitely turn the fight with her ultimate and, you know, bring it really close. But, I mean, seeing as the lethal tempo only went off like one time, I don't think Kama Bird is going to want to look for this.
Well, I mean, it was mostly just like, you know, his Zark actually jumped onto Kama Bird here once they were level 6. I mean, it's like one of the worst times you want to do it because that Kale ult is up and allows, you know, Kale to just walk out of the fight if needed. But, I mean, now it looks like, you know, Kama Bird here is actually going to start poking out. And actually a great hook.
Big stuns coming out, and now Piccolo's in trouble. Does not have level 6. There's going to be first blood going over to die. Do not tick on the Weaver State side. A little 100 extra gold for that killed, and, you know, will be definitely monumental for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, to see that it was just great CC. They had the hook down, you know, the traps from Jinx went down, got the stun off, you know, and Twig was not able to body block because you cannot body block the, you know, those auto attacks, and so was able to pretty much just, you know, able to get that kill pretty much for free. Got the stuns off of Piccolo there, was able to get the heal. The flash is just now coming up, unfortunately, from when the flash happened earlier. Very, very well timed, actually, is if they would have waited, you know, another 10 seconds before they took that fight, Piccolo would have gotten out with the flash. And they also waited before the level 6, because that ultimate does make them unstoppable and or not unstoppable, you know, untargetable, and allows them to, you know, go up in the air and dodge a lot of skill shots and get out of a fight if needed.
Yeah, no, level 6 on Zaya, it's always a big power spike for her as well. And, you know, not being able to have it there, it's devastating, but doesn't really ruin all of the bot lane, as, you know, we still have another drag coming up. They still can attain themselves a priority when the next objective comes. And, you know, Fumbar Janssen's going to love if his laners give him priority when they need to be called.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw Thresh actually going up to the red buff there, placing down a ward, and actually a control ward there, and spot out that Evelyn, who's now level 6, and now he's going to be invisible. The only thing that it can spot out Evelyn is those pink items, you know, those trinkets, and as well as going to be someone being near them, and as well as towers who do have true sight. And so they're actually going to be taking that Rift Herald, and looks like some pings going down. Hecarim's going to be sitting in the bush, waiting. Actually just gonna back in the red side for whatever reason, okay. And you know, it looks like we're gonna get a little scuttle crab for Fumbar Janssen, but some pings going down. Is he gonna be spotted out by a control ward, but he can quickly take him out.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do when there's an Evelyn on the enemy team, seeing as you cannot see her unless you are right next to her. Those pink wards are gonna allow you to see her when she's doing damage to a camp or another neutral monster. So just being able to be on top of that for Weaver, that's going to give them a big advantage. Oh, Riverman actually getting caught out here, and now Drit turning a fight here in the bot lane as Void has found himself a kill, and a Piccolo dropping the ultimate on their head. That's going to be Jinx caught out, and Do Not Take is no longer in the lead for the bot lane.
I mean, you know, there goes that Drudge line, you know, that ultimate we were talking about on that Zaya, as well as the Drudge line coming down, grabbing Jinx, the Ignite goes down.
Oh, Void is getting close to the push, and now Fumbar Jansen's there. He's going to do his damage for Void to get out. I think that looks like Drit is looking really close to dying here. But it looks like the Shen TP went for Hecarim. Piccolo grabbing the kill with her feathers, and really close call for the side of NAU as the bot lane is super low. Over the fight with the support nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, that Ignite was taken down very, very close. A single minion cast just right on the Piccolo there. They were gonna die. But it was a nice fight. Unfortunately, Fumbar Janssen was not able to get that last caress onto Void there.
Such a play, by the way.
And that's 320 gold right there just for Kale. All they're trying to do is scale, and if you're just gonna let them farm for free and get tower plates, it's gonna be a big problem. You know, if you thought everyone was gonna be a problem, you know, if you're gonna let the Kales just do their thing, that's gonna be even bigger, level 1.
Yeah, you know, she hasn't really established her dominance yet in the top lane. She's only up a couple of CS, but, you know, now that she has her extended range on her auto attack, she could go for some mean pushes and mean holds onto the lane. You just don't want to see Kale doing that and just flying by under the radar with no punishment.
Yeah, I mean, the top lane is literally just in the mid lane right now, and then we see the actual mid lane Resilient just going back to the mid lane. Kama Bird just getting free CS, just have a control ward in the bush, and is able to just free farm, and if someone walks near, I'm going to throw a little bit of slow in action down and just walk under tower. But
yeah. Ooh, Kama Bird finds Shen, taunting him in the bush, now trying to retreat. Kama Bird dropping the lethal tempo right on 10 Ninja Head, and looks like 3 people are actually about to collapse on bot lane here. Twig is taking the charge here for the damage. Piccolo does find Lunatic here, but there's still a little bit more damage that needs to be done for the side of NAU. Piccolo grabs Lunatic there, but Twig is going to find himself with a little bit of a problem here. Zillion has roamed from the mid lane, and that is Fumbar Janssen trying to get that last present to try to get away. And Weaver State making sure that they are all over this map.
yeah, I mean, you know, without that Hextech Rocket Belt, Evelyn does not have a lot of that movement ability to be able to catch up to that charm, and this doesn't have as much ability power to actually be able to take the fights pretty much solo for a lot of these champions, being, like they said before, 3 tanks. And so Evelyn's gonna be quite a bit weaker here in this game, but they are just gonna let Kale take a blue buff here. is actually
Wow.
what's going to happen. Because, I mean, we saw that the Hecarim was at least bot lane, got the
Look
gank
at this
off.
Void. Still making sure to face check every single brush in the bot lane. That's Net with the package coming in from downtown. Now Net has gotten himself a kill. Fnatic does have full lethal tempo proc. Somebody else is hunting, but Fnatic has made himself very safe by approaching the tower.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just that package, like you said, just going over all the terrain, is able to, you know, pick up a kill as well there, and as well as they're actually going to be able to secure this dragon. It's going to give a second dragon to that match. It's going to show us what the dragon's soul is going to be after it does go down. And Kale chilling with the blue buff. He's just you know, having the best time, pushing in the tower, getting CS, getting turret plates, about to get a third turret plate, and hasn't had not a single gank, gets a free farm. Common Bird's living the life right now as the Kale main up here.
Yeah, there's a lot of autonomy in the top lane, and I think Zark does have ultimate. I don't think he can find anything during that fight, I guess, but I mean, if he had a point out of time to teleport, that would have been a good time. That it was Net, though, making sure that a big roam happens in the bot lane, and that just secured the Cloud Drake for NAU.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see a couple items being finished out for NAU. And we're actually going to have that Nashor's Tooth there for Common Bird, that Hex Tech rocket belt for Barry Onsen. It's going to finish off that Manamune there for Net, as well as that Gale Force going to be finished off for Zaya. A little bit extra damage, a little bit extra movement, always nice, and just finishing off on Mythic just in general. So nice.
And
But
Net is weaving his rockets left and right. Void actually getting close to Net there, but the bush kind of saved his little tiny health bar from dwindling, and NAU did find something on the Thresh there, but Thresh just kind of backed off. It's impressive to see that Weber has so much scrimmage in their team comp in the beginning, yet I don't think scrimmage is going to help a lot with the scaling Kale, for crying out loud.
yeah, I mean, Common Bird just hit level 11, is now exalted. All auto attacks are now ranged, and once you hit that level 15, 16, all auto attacks will be will caught in a wave, and so having a ranged auto attacks now, Shen is gonna
Very close right there.
Shen is gonna have a very hard time now, and actually loses tower here in 15 minutes to a Kale that just was able to just free farm in the top lane.
And let's point out the obvious, Jay. That Kale is 15 CS a minute right now, with the exception of 4. But gee whiz, is this Shen not having fun, just farming all game and just watching Kale do everything? That's depressing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Common Bird does have to back here. They are actually on that Rift Herald, but with the back going down right now, Common Bird's going to be pretty safe, and it looks like they're actually going to try to maybe drop it in the top lane here, and try to retaliate back with another top lane turret taken.
Yeah, Pumbari Johnson is in the bot lane while that goes on, and he's putting himself in a very patient position. Doesn't want to accidentally breach this game. And it looks like Gnostic is being targeted for Pumbari Johnson to the last present. That is Shen finding the TP, but Piccolo already threw out the ultimate. This is their fight, and they just took it decisively.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing that thing I mentioned before. Evelyn can sit in lanes for as long as they want. They can sit there for a couple minutes, and it's still worth it. They're still not losing a whole lot, because they're trying to get that scaling items. They're going to build that Magi Soul Stealer second, and they're just really just trying to get those kills so they can start one-shotting, because there's that assassin. They're invisible. They can sit there, and they're not going to be spotted out very easily.
However, it goes over the wall here, right? Oh, dodge the Hecarim charge, but the blast was not going to connect. For Net there, and Void finds himself a sneaky little kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, that dodge was a very nice dodge onto the onslaught of shadows there, dodging the fear. However, so much damage comes out of it. It really didn't matter. Zillion got the actually here.
That is going to be the Zillion R to pop through this engage, and now Kale is in the mid lane. Void now fighting really close for comfort, but it looks like Grit is here for any type of shenanigans. But it looks like Zark did have a TP in the bot lane, and now he's just kind of moved his way through the map. It's an excellent way to try to stay present, but I don't know. It looks like Kale is just gonna take a little bit more gold from your pockets.
Yeah, I mean, if you want top lane, you don't want to be pushed up all the way to their tier 2 turret, especially, as Kale, who is not completely exalted yet with the waves on the auto attack. So, I mean, you really just want to wait for your wave to push up a bit. You're going to go over to a different lane, try to help out with the fight, take some CS, and then go back up so where a safer, they feel a little bit safer. And as well as we actually saw the ultimate coming out from Zillion there, stopped from Bryanson from getting that kill and allowed them to walk out of there. But regardless, still, Weaver State here is actually going to be down, about that 4,000 gold here, just nearing it, and it's going to be down to only 1 kill, but even Dragons, and with down 1 tower overall.
Yeah, it's some rickety stuff here in this game. This drag is now coming up. There is a twig in the bush, and that is exactly what you would expect from the nature of his character. Zark does flash away though as soon as the ultimate comes in from Nautilus, but Zark did end up using flash there, and Rift Herald did get dropped mid.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually going to be seeing a fight over this dragon. It's going to be the Ocean Soul for the game. Probably one of the most least impactful souls of the game. I would like to. It's probably, yeah, I would defy
Be sure that Lumberjax is dropping the last crescent onto Dredge here, and there is going to be Void now finishing the fight, but doesn't get through. And now Zaya just obliterated everybody with her feathers. And that is the Ocean Drake. It's impactful, but most winning for the side of the red team.
Yeah, I mean, that fight went absolutely perfect for them. NAU has, every single member up, and they were able to get the ace, they were able to get the dragon. Your Evelyn is now 15 stacks on the Magi Soul Stealer. Your ADC 6 and 2. Your Kale is scaling.
Kale is also 10 CS per minute with a bounty. This is gnarly. And I love watching it, but I wouldn't want to be on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, this is just what it's the setup that you want. You're up now 6 kills. You're up, 7,000 gold, sorry, 8,000 gold, and nearing that 10,000 mark. The objective bounties are now up from 1 fight, and it's Weaver State's going to have a lot of catching up to. It's not completely impossible, but it is starting to become a little bit more and more difficult as that Kale does start pushing into those side lanes and taking towers.
And I do love how NAU kind of took the pace of this game by their own hands, and have just dictated every single fight from the beginning all the way to what will be the end. I did see NAU drop the package in the bot lane very impactfully, as it was the first one, and then just having Kale roaming mid for that fight, it was just detrimental for the Weaver State side. And, you can't just get this control back from the game, Jay. You have to do something drastic to try to find your way back. It's just a matter of where they end up looking, because if they do anything topside, that Baron's gone in less than 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I would like to mention that I actually just noticed is that Weaver State actually has 1 AP and 4 AD scaling here. I mean, Thresh is an AP scaling champion, but Thresh is not going to be building any AP items. He's just going to be building tank. And so,
oh boy, getting close. But oh no, Dredge line did not just connect there, Jerry. That was Void trying to get over the wall, but Twig has a nasty, mean Dredge line waiting for anybody that comes in his jungle.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you have to be so careful of that Dredge line. Oh, and there it is.
There's Lunatic with the last crescent right to the face, or Lunatic. And, a big super mega death rocket can help you from the Evelyn here.
Yeah, I mean, when you get one shot and that last caress is available, it's really just so detrimental. You're backing in the middle of the lane for whatever reason, because that's where you decided to back, I guess. And Evelyn walks. You have that charm goes up, and the Evelyn just walks into your sight, and you know you're dead. And I mean, really, just a 7 and 2 Zaya, 3 and 0 Evelyn, and it's just. You can take that so fast.
Bird, 2v1 versus Zark. That's going to be the final blow. Riverman and Void now crawling up behind Karma Bird. Right, he's just flapping his way to go! Void makes sure to take this last hit as the Super Mega Death Rocket landed. And that is Karma Bird with more than double what he had when he came into the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, They thought 3 people were sufficient enough to take down this bird. Obviously not. The ultimate was up, the flash was available, and was able to take out all 3. The Rift Maker's available, it has that 8%, Omnivamp, Kale can heal. And when you're healing in waves, everything you hit heals you with that wave. That level 16 is available while Kale was farming in the bot lane, and you thought you needed just 3 of them to take out the Kale, but you needed more CC and more damage than that.
Not only did you need more damage, not only did you need more CC, you needed to play, Jerry. And, putting down Dritz and Void like that to try to get Calm a Bird while he's exalted, I mean, you're just never going to find that. And like I said, you could do a lot for this game to try to get back into it, but you will never bring back the course of the game in favor of the blue team forever and ever.
Yeah, I mean, that one fight allowed Calm a Bird to actually pick up Rabadon's death cap outright. Fought it straight out. You thought Kale was doing damage before. Wait, and then you get that magic opus passive. You have, it allows you to get you that nice, it gets you 120, AP with a 30% bonus. And with a Rabadon's death cap at this point, you're going up probably around 250 AP in just one item. And so, I mean,
we got a pro Kale here, Jerry. Don't sugarcoat it. This is professional Kale. Lunatic is not so much a professional. Marionton is gonna get caught slacking here. But the last caress does make sure to save. Net actually decides to jump into 4 people there, but it didn't really do much because Weaver's just so slow. Void gets picked off by Marionton, but the Thresh hook that's going to get Zark this ultimate CC combo. Marionton, though, does have the defenses, but Piccolo runs in there to dig up on the play. Calm a Bird just making sure to rip that bot lane apart, and as a professional, he is clearly focused on one thing.
Yeah, I mean, Calm a Bird able to go down the bot lane literally for free. No one even wants to go down there and contest, and your mid lane's being pushed by 4 people. It's either the Kale or the 4 people, and then Weber State here decides the 4 people, because you just saw Jinx there in the fountain there just die to auto attacks. And that's Kale for you. We're just seeing the combo that's coming out here from NAU, just going full offensive, full scaling, and is able to get the win out. They were at, they lost the first blood, but that was the only thing that they lost this whole game, and then obviously the first dragon too. But I mean, they're able to push this game in, finish it off in 25 minutes, and
a bit of a wash.
Yeah, we will be back here for second round. This is a best of 3 tournament, and we will be back here shortly for game 2.
My car don't look like a phantom. I don't own that house in the Hamptons. And my 2 chains ain't gold at all. I can't buy you a diamond necklace. Being good with money takes practice. But somehow I don't mind at all. Cause no one's got what we got. We hit it up on rooftops. No matter what they say, we will do this our way. We ain't in it for the dollars, no. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you. Just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you. Just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Girl, let me show you the paper. I can buy that house for you later. But you say you don't need that at all. This world is ours for the taking. Just me and you got me thinking. I swear we already made it. Cause no one's got what we got. We hit it up on rooftops. No matter what they say, we will do this our way. We ain't in it for the dollars, no. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you. Just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you. Just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you. Just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you. Just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it.
Hello, stream. Looks like we're ready to get back in a game, too. This is NAU taking it to the moon with Weber State University. And there it is. The first round of bands coming out. That is Carthus. But will we see Evelyn?
Yeah, I mean, they could be trying to go for something. Weber State here, just trying to, like, you know, maybe try to play around the Evelyn, try to counter it. But I'm sure we'll see it. But Carthus being another good champion to actually ban poor Funbari Onsen. What? Okay, regardless, another good champion to ban for Funbari Onsen.
How's he do it?
His stats for Carthus have been actually insane for this tournament here. He's played it twice now and has a 14-0 and a 14-1, I believe, was the stats overall for this Carthus. So they are very scared of it. But obviously they're not as scared as the Evelyn, even though the Evelyn kind of was messing him up last game. I mean, the Kale was a lot more scarier.
That Evelyn was playground mode, full on. And I don't disagree with you as harsh as I try to be.
Yeah, they're actually they're actually banning out the bot lane, which is interesting. Piccolo playing Senna and as well as Soraka quite a bit, and so they're banning out the bot lane as well as the one jungle, which is interesting because usually we see a lot of the 3 jungle bans, or at least one bot ban and 2 jungle bans. Whereas Weber here is actually going to be taking a little bit of a different approach to these to this banning phase. But the Zillion is going to be coming out, and Hecarim, I think NAU here wants to show him how to really how to play this Zillion Hecarim.
Spicy and
so And I have to mention, Net does play a lot of Zillion, and Hecarim is the second main for Funbari Onsen here, just besides the Evelyn. And so with two players that have played these champs a lot, whereas Riverman is actually an action main, and so that's why we got the banned out last game. And
Wow.
so that's why they played Zillion, and so we're actually going to be playing that Zillion Hecarim for that nice combo. However, another early game champion, even more so though, is going to be that Xin Zhao. It's going to be, that champion, he can level 2 gank if he wants. He can, he can also scale into the mid game to help with the team fights. Does fall off a bit towards the late game, but he's that early game champion, very, very strong. Can 1v1 a lot of champions early game with the amount of damage and CC he has, as well as being able to challenge other champions and be able to dash to them. Makes his ganking potential very, very strong.
And the second round of bans just started right now. NAU taking the second round. And I will say Xin Zhao is on the 12.5 patch. He has shown that he was a little bit strong in the beginning of Season 12, but in the Riot Games started to dial down his numbers a little bit. He has a shorter Crescent Guard. And, will it make a difference here? I do think so, genuinely, because Xin Zhao is known for his really good engages. And if Xin Zhao is not taking account for that extra second, then I think NAU could turn the tables just like that immediately.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to mention here is that Riverman is actually going to, or Riverman, Weber is actually going to be picking up that Leona. Twig is a Leona main, has a little over 1 million mastery points.
The millionaire Leona.
And so they're actually going to be picking off the Morgana to try to help counter that. Leona dives in. You just have an even bigger stun to just try to throw him off, as well as looking like they're not really trying to decide what they're trying to pick. And we have the Jin, being able to have someone, Xin Zhao, Leona dives onto someone like Jin who has no mobility. You have the Morgana Black Shield to negate any CC and allows Jin to walk out with when they need to. And Sion being picked, Sion, right now is actually has been very, very strong. However, with the recent patch update, the Hull Breaker just got nerfed a bit, and so the split pushing meta is not as strong with Hull Breaker. However, that's what Sion does. Regardless, he builds Hull Breaker first item and he split pushes, and he doesn't really have a huge lane presence. And so I mean, we'll see what Kalama Bird can do here, because he's going to be that last pick for us here.
Shows the terror. Shows the terror that is present in Weber State's draft. It could be anything. It could be a set. It's going to be a set.
It's going to be throwing those punches down onto that Scion and trying to get the sustain. When Scion pops that passive, a lot of champions will actually get traded and die to the Scion passive because of how strong he is. But when you have someone like Set who can actually sustain, then it's really just makes it really, really nice to, if he did, Set does get the kill, he can heal up while also being taken down by the Scion passive. But at the same time, you have Scion and Leona, two champions that are going to be building health. When that showstopper comes out, that ultimate comes out, the more health the champion has, the more splash damage he does with that ultimate. So meaning that if he grabs that Scion, grabs that Leona, he might be able to one-shot the Jinx and the Silas if he does land directly on top of them and if they do have enough health. And so makes Set in the team fights so strong. It makes him very, very scary, because when you have someone like Scion and Leon in the front line, Set just walks up and goes straight to the back line right into Jinx, and suddenly Jinx is going to die.
And if Jinx dies, so that is nothing new for tonight. I do remember Dunatic having a nice early start in the beginning of the last game, but as things have progressed, that is a box falling, but Dunatic did not end up being able to carry the last game. Will he pull up with the Jinx this game? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the Jinx was looking good last game. Just unfortunately, the top side, mid side, and jungle side from NAU was just too strong, and were able to just shut down any sort of lead that Dunatic was actually trying to take for themselves.
And you see a lot of teams in solo queue do kind of prefer the Jinx when it comes down to it. Jinx is just such a reliable marksman that, I mean, paired up against Jin and Morgana here, I do think Jinx is going to play relatively safe for the most part, but I think Jinx does have its place in the meta, and just not in games like this where I think NAU is just kind of thinking throughout the entire game from the beginning when the gates go down, and they know exactly where they need to be to get the most value out of all their roams and plays.
Yeah, I mean, I like to mention here, So we have Set and Hecarim, great early game champions. Zillion, being that nice mid-game champion to late game. Morgana being a nice all-round champion. And Jhin being a late game champion, mid to late game, being able to scale really hard. You have Sion, who's just a champion, likes to split push. Fairly decent for team fights. Can also get into team fights very quickly if he needs to. Xin Zhao being that early game champion. Silas being more that mid to late game champion. However, Silas' ultimate, is more just like, this is your ultimate's mine. Just sharing is caring. The Zillion ult, being able to put that on someone like Leona, Xin Zhao there to bring him back to life can be huge for team fights. Stealing something like that. I mean, NAU has so much versatility with so many of their ults that, you have stuns on Morgana, you have the, you have the curtain call from Jhin, you have the resurrection from Zillion, you have the onslaught of shadows from Hecarim, and the showstopper from Set. So many different ways to actually use these in team fights. Silas here was a great pick from Weber here, and we're going to be seeing a lot of use out of that, out of those ultimates. And Silas is going to be one of the most dangerous champions in this game because of his ultimate, with how much team fighting abilities that he's going to be able to have with all of these ultimates he can steal.
Yeah, I totally agree. Silas is a giant threat to this team, and when it comes down to it, it's not going to be Riverman doing it all by himself. He is not the one-man show, though. It's going to come down to Void. If he can redeem himself from the last jungle discrepancy, as I will put it lightly, I mean, there was just not a lot of action coming in from Xin Zhao up until when the second round of objectives started coming through. That's when Lumberjax just kind of started dodging every single objective and just went straight for the snowball in his respective lanes.
Yeah, I mean, Evelyn having such a bad early game, hitting that level 6, and suddenly Evelyn's in the game and is a threat. That's really all that Lumberjax was trying to do. It's that he plays Evelyn like he plays Karthus. He farms, and so then he goes in and ganks, whether that's either pressing R on Karthus for that Requiem or the Evelyn actually going up and trying to get a one-shot off. And... so...
No, dude, that's Jinx from the Zombie Slayer movie. The one that went on for like 5 separate trilogies.
But as we load in here, we're going to be looking at those runes and summoner spells, as well as some of those items to see if we see anything out of the ordinary. And I mean, off the bat here, we're going to be seeing some Set. However, I'd like to mention here, we're going to see that fleet footwork coming from Jhin. A little bit extra movement speed is always nice, as well as that summon Aerie from on that Zillion, just a little bit extra poke. It's gonna have to, and that's gonna play very, very careful here since someone like against someone like Silas, and who's gonna be able to jump onto him very, very quickly. And so Net's gonna have to use those time bombs to be able to hit those stuns so that he can get out of the fight. Because if he misses a time bomb and actually doesn't get the stun off, Silas is gonna doing a lot of damage, and Zillion's is not gonna have enough damage to negate. He's gonna be doing negative damage as the term goes, because Silas heals so much.
Well, I do want to say that I think Zillion's biggest strength in the mid lane is that he just gets this giant power spike at level 6. He can just kind of keep playing the lane in his favor and just kind of use his ultimate to get back into what would be, just presence in the lane. But he can also get his jungler, he could get his bot lane and just kind of come in here and just finesse the team from their engage and just pop the chrono break, and there you go. He has complete control over the lane.
But actually, we're going to see a late invade here at a minute 30.
All right, let's see. Let me zoom out here. Let's see it.
Yeah, bot lane actually going to be missing. And
This is a tough one. 3 versus 2.
Sion taking red buff.
That is interesting. Lumberjax really low. Doesn't get to do anything about it. Common Bird just kind of backs off. He doesn't have his top lane in the right time, and that's very useful for Common Bird here. But look at this. Zari grabs himself a red buff. He needs it, or else, what the heck? He's doing the suicide Sion just to try to avoid any type of invade. I mean, that was a really nice way to ward off any possible intruders. But at what cost?
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like bot lane and top lane have done a bit of a roll swap here, and Twig finds a nice little Morgana stun.
It's actually a really interesting play going on here, and I don't even know if NAU even really cares to even switch lanes. I think Set might be okay with trying to 1v2 in the top lane, and whereas they're trying to let Piccolo scale here.
That's Void dropping the 3v1. Oh, gets the big pull onto the Void. That is the jungler falling to the top lane tower at 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
I mean, that's history. Like I said, I don't think Common Bird actually cares that there's going to be 2 to 3 top all the time. He's playing Set. he likes the fights. He wants the fights. He gets those that haymaker build. He's gonna start getting those nice damage out, and he's looking for it. He wants it.
But he's dangerously low. Doesn't have the summoners, and that's Dritz and Dunatic getting themselves a nice lead in the top lane. For the first 3 minutes of the game, I mean, what do you make of this? And that's Lumbar Janssen finding a Raptor camp here. Looks like Lumbar Janssen can heal up, and that's Net ravaging his way through the mid lane to get to this fight. Lumbar Janssen did find Void here, and now Riverman has to flash away from the Morgana Q. What a perfect coordination from the side of NAU there. But Zart holding his own in the bot lane like a true menace to the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking a little bit scary for Funbar Janssen there, but however, that's what Hecarim does. He sustains. When you have a Zillion coming up to help you out, that's all you need. And,
Would you be scared right now, Jerry?
I mean,
if you were Zark, would you be scared?
Well, I mean, it is Sion. He is very tanky, but I think it looks like...
Sorry about that. Guys, you have not witnessed a single bit of this. Only listen to it, and wow. This game has gone off. Okay, actually, I'm not even gonna rewind it. But still, this game has gone off to a crazy start.
Yeah, I mean, we have top lane for Weber in the bot lane here, 1v2, and we have two 1v2 lanes here. And I don't think any of you cares. They're actually down for the 1v2s and the 2v1.
And we're terribly sorry, guys. The producer got himself a donut, and he's just been ripping that thing apart. Void, though, is in the Raptor camp as Lumbar Janssen was just about to clear him. That is Void now low on HP, gonna give up a kill, and that 0-3 KD line is not good for NAU.
Yeah, I mean, 3 deaths already. It's just, onto someone like Xin Zhao, it's just, very unfortunate.
There was a lot of action going on, but nonetheless, Dritz and Dunatic now have found themselves a bit of a big push onto the top lane. Now Kama Bird just grabs himself the minions. That's what he should be doing right now. He doesn't want to get too close. And thus Lumbar Janssen's there. The pony of death, and now making his way through with Zillion right behind him. And now Dritz is taking himself very low during this fight. Lumbar Janssen did end up with the killing spree now. And that is NAU with the big play in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, you have this Hecarim now 3-1. You have, Xin Zhao 0-3-1. A little bit of a number swap just over to the right, shifted to the right a little bit. But NAU now sitting at 4 kills. 2 kills over Weber. They're doing quite nice. They're actually actually liking these 2v1 lanes because the top lane having a set, being able to gank a set as well as when there's 2 people there to kill is just really, really nice. However, looking for another 2v1 possibly here. Set looking to fight this. Actually, Xin Zhao here is 0-3, building up that haymaker there.
That is Kama Bird 2v1. I don't think the haymaker will do enough here. Void does end up with a big kill, and now Net kind of signaling off to his teammate. What the question mark means is, did you really mean to do that, or are you just Kama Bird?
I mean, I also like to mention that Kama Bird actually has 2 Doran's blades. And
yeah,
there goes
I
the
think
pickaxe.
Going very Ari for this set, and there's not much he could do about it. He's just gonna get poked down by the Jinx, and then Leona's just gonna be able to go through with the engage. It's not easy for Set, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, Set does like the fights, but when you're trying to fight someone with like Leona, who does have has 2 CCs in the kit, as when they once it's level 6, it's at 3. Net putting some damage down though.
Yeah, Silas couldn't even dodge those. I mean, those were perfectly placed bombs, and I think Zillion is waiting for his opportunity, especially when it comes to Silas. You want to really read around all his abilities.
Yeah, I mean, Kama Bird actually mailed the switch lanes now, as can't really, as we said, we see the trouble to take out the 1v2. However, it just really shows the Sion who's boss there just goes down, throws some punches down, almost kills Sion, and goes back to what he's doing, and is going to take some tower plates. He's actually going to take 2 tower plates here, one as he gets down here. Actually, I'm sorry, it's only 1. There's Piccolo and Twig actually took a tower plate, my bad. But looks like they're going to be switching lanes once again. they're going to be putting the Leona Jinx combo down in the bot lane, and while Set's going to be here actually backing, Xin Zhao is going to be nearby, so if they don't, hopefully they don't spot Calma Bird out and actually kill him here. Actually, he does get the back off him, fortunately. But the far behind Onsen actually being caught out. Normally he would take that fight. However, when you have 4 people surrounding you and you're actually out of mana, you have just enough mana to use that Onslaught of Shadows to go over the wall over to the blue buff, and it's going to does not have Smite available, so it does have to be careful that it doesn't get stolen here.
Yeah, I mean, Fumbari Onsen is the king of the jungle right now, but I think seeing that Hextech Drake go down is going to put himself in a bit of a dapper situation. Now Zillion's kind of looking to see if they can get a pick here, and Fumbari Onsen does find Riverman. Riverman is getting close. That corner break's going to come through for Riverman. He's going to be able to save himself. Now Dritz and Dunatic are in a fight in the curtain call. That's going to be Calma Bird from downtown, dropping the big haymaker. That's going to, get him a kill onto the Jinx Void. Now is mathematically correct amount of HP for the kill, and Fumbari Onsen rips through that silence as he's getting back to safety. Dritz, now the last person to die. And Zark is just kind of wondering where it all went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Hecarim who's 5-1, a Set who's 3-2, who was trying to 1v2 lane pretty much the whole game, and is now starting to do damage. And it's just, it's starting to look fairly grim for Weber here. However, nothing's impossible, and they are down only 4,000 gold. The objective bounties aren't up quite yet, but some power plates are going to be going down in for mid lane, as well as the first dragon of the match, going to be that Hextech dragon. It's going to be going down. Actually, it actually went to Weber State. Actually, didn't even realize that they actually finished the dragon until they fought after the fact of the dragon.
But you see, Jerry, objectives don't really mean a lot right now, especially since only the first 2 drags. If Weber State can actually make themselves known for having 2 drags, then yeah, there is a little bit of a threat when it comes down to the next drags. But look at this Zart, he's just holding down the top lane after Calma Bird just abandoned it. Now it's Dritz leading the charge onto this engage. Dritz very low, and that's the haymaker to land right into that Leona's solar. You just can't miss those Dritz. I'm sorry, but that was Calma Bird. Big outplay. You just don't want to see your Leona not getting this.
What I thought was super interesting was that they had someone on either side of Calma Bird, and they actually went to the same side, so he got a triple haymaker and was able to get all the extra damage off instead of staying spread out, so that only minimized the damage from it. And so they actually took a lot of extra damage and they really needed to. How was
The onslaught of shadows onto Dunatic. That's not doing enough though. It is gonna get net the kill onto Void and the revive onto his teammate. God bless this Zillion as he now finds another bomb to attach to the Silas's body. Now Dunatic is up for grabs, and that's going to be net. Auto-attacking to death. That's a triple kill for the boy. And now Dritz just backs off as he was currently in the gray screen, now making himself back into the bot lane while Calma Bird punching that mid lane.
I mean, like I was mentioning before, Net does like his Zillion, does play Zillion quite a bit.
You can't miss those. You cannot miss those Dritz, but unfortunately they did. And now Calma Bird is doing a little bit of punching in the mid lane. He's not going to be fired just yet from the NAU squad. He's going to punch a lot more bodies as soon as Twig finds this Void, or this Riverman character. I thought it was the jungler, but Riverman is a little bit excited now that he's out of there. Does have a little bit of an angle here on a Twig. Twig needs to flash out of here, and that's gonna get him over the wall. Not close enough to safety though, as Dunatic does get the super mega death rocket.
Yeah, I mean, just Twig was just, in a bad position without flash. Actually had to use flash and without the stun up. Just, really unfortunate. And gets challenged by Xin Zhao there and is able to, dash right up. And, super mega death rocket is available, so Jinx is able to clean up that kill. However, it looks like a little bit of a team fight actually coming down here, possibly.
Yeah, it looks like Piccolo has found themselves a very big opening. Calma Bird making sure that Dritz steals the haymaker one more time, and that's Piccolo grabbing the flash onto the jungler Void. Now 1-6, has to get himself back into this game where the jungle could be NAU's.
Yeah, but actually, Zark looking like you're trying to cancel some backs. Does have to be careful because NAU could collapse. But I mean, NAU just taking these fights, just winning them non-stop, has actually brought them almost to 10,000 gold lead. Has 10 kills over them, and the second dragon's not even up. It comes up here in 45 seconds.
Yeah, NAU's just done a really good job making these fights the absolute best value for them, as now they've opened themselves up to have a lot of priority when this dragon comes up. And Boyd, who is level 6 still and now farming his jungle, has to figure out how to climb back up the ranks to be on Fumbarionsen's level.
Yeah, I mean, Boyd, level 6 at 13 minutes, 37 CS, 3 levels down compared to Fumbarionsen. Not looking super great.
That's what happens when Fumbarionsen tries to set a world record in the Big Sky Conference, and he could very well find it. Now Dritz misses the solar flare. That's going to be Fumbarionsen leading the charge here with the Onslaught of Shadows. Doesn't find Dritz, but Boyd, who is inside of the circle of death. Riverman did not want to see Kama Bird claw in his little beak in the bottom tri-bush, and now Fumbarionsen does get the big charge, and that's right on top of Dunatic, who is no longer going to be in the game, probably forever.
I mean, now it's 14 minutes, 10,000 gold, showing up 13 kills ahead. That's the second tower going down mid lane and bot lane respectively, and the second dragon is now up, and Fumbarionsen is going to go over there and try and take that.
Sorry, too close to the bombs there, but nonetheless still is trying to get this CS. That is gold that is needed, especially to save this economy right here. I mean, Russia ain't got nothing on blue team right now, that's for sure.
Okay. But I mean, I don't really see anything specifically that Weber could do here to really just try to come back from this. I mean, you're not even 15 minutes in and you're down over 10,000 gold now, sitting at that 11,000 deficit, and you're trying to actually collapse on the Zark.
Zark is close for the shot. Now the W, deadly flourish, make it deadlier. Piccolo now chases the kill on the Zark. Does find the rotate coming out from the Weaver State University side. Twig now with Zanya aiming for the big engage, but doesn't find anything. Now that could be his death, and that is Boyd picking up the kill wall. Colin Bird trading some blows with the Riverman here. That was a big suplex into the bot lane to try to get this turret. But net actually a little bit farther than Piccolo would be, and that is the teammate that is needed. That is going to be Fumbarionsen, though, dynamically appearing out of thin air, now making Dritz flee for his life. Still got to get those Zenith Blades, Dritz, as now it's NAU making another big stomp onto the... Oh, wow. Actually gets the turret there. I mean, NAU just rolling right now, as they don't have anything that's stopping them. No, it's not going to stop anything. That is Zark dropping the unstoppable force.
It's the sidestep on the
But the sidestep and the flash is saved Kama Bird. How does he get away every time here?
Well, I mean, I like to mention Kama Bird sitting on her tower, just taking the tower while Sion's just auto-attacking him. Sion's doing everything in his power to try to stop it, and Kama Bird just takes the tower, doesn't care that he's getting hit. Just that's what he does. He's trying to push here. And actually, we're actually going to have that Showmaker onto Riverman there, looking for a little bit of a team fight action going on, trying to maybe grab on Funbari or even Kama Bird for that extra splash damage. But looks like Bird might be caught out again, unfortunately, but they do have the black shield, negates NU at slow, and UCC is quite nice. But
good for them.
Maybe looking for a team fight here. Kama Bird still split pushing in the he's not going to be in that top lane after taking 2 turrets in the bot lane. A solar flare.
Kama Bird is now fighting Dritz and Riverman as they are climbing up to the top lane. As Kama Bird dropping the big ghost or big Bork onto Riverman and Dritz. Now there's 3 people right on him as he's pushed against the wall. He's getting pissed left and right. And that's Lunatic, making sure that he is the lunatic that this team needs to try to get back into the game. Luckily, Twig does not die there, and Piccolo ends up with the kill on a Boyd. Now Net is making sure to drop those bombs like a hawk, and that's going to be Piccolo with a double kill right there on a Dunatic. I mean, Dunatic, who was looking a little bit hopeful for the team, now in the gray screen.
Yeah, I mean, starting off Kama Bird, going for the 1v5, has to just try to sustain. Fortunately, the haymaker was not available because it was used to finish off Void, but the rest of NAU was able to follow up and was able to actually secure the kills and actually do a lot of damage on that TP power.
Now we're seeing Lumberjax scrapping with Rubberman as the TP drops. That's gonna be Net actually, who's ready to support his companion here. But Lumberjax is just ripping that cane up, trying to find this kill, but Net actually gets the kill on a Drit. Now Void is making sure to make the casters pay for all their casting abilities. Now they're just ripping through with double kills left and right. I mean, they're making me pay. They're making me work, all right?
Yeah, I mean, it's 22 stacks on Medjai's there, 4 Zillion, just absolutely massive. 93 set, 81 Hecarim. It's looking absolutely massive.
Could we see the Shelly dance though?
We
That
saw
is the soul suplex from Kama Bird. Now Kama Bird is getting nasty in the base, which is where they're supposed to be safe. But Net actually getting the bomb on his arc. And the Dritz doesn't get the big solar flare that he needed this game for the 10th time. Piccolo dropping the deadly flourish while the Nexus is being ripped apart.
this is a pre-20-minute game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jerry.
The third dragon didn't even have a chance to spawn.
Can't catch the bird, he just flies away. Can't catch the bird, he just flies away.
But I mean, just NAU picking a more team fight comp here instead of the more high damage here, really showing what they can do with their comps and really showing how Zillion Hecarim actually works and how well to do it. How it how well you have someone.
That's how that works.
Yeah, when you have someone like Zillion in like Net who can play Zillion so well and actually 1v1 a Silas, bring him to 0-6 when you're 6-0. 25 stacks on the Medjai's. NAU just extending their lead so far and actually almost doubling their gold. Just
Wow.
about 6,000 gold off, and they would have doubled the gold for the match. But that's going to be the matches for tonight. Tomorrow night we will be back, I believe, at the same time. If not, it's going to be at 4 Mountain Standard Time here, and it's going to be another fun match.
It's gonna be rolling. Thanks you guys so much. And as you can see, set facepalm is the appropriate thing for this game. That is.
I would like to shout out Piccolo's father for actually buying everyone pizza here, and I'd like to give a shout out to him.
That is awesome, Piccolo's dad, and you are a true gamer at heart.
But we'd like to wish you guys a good night, and thanks for watching us or listening to us ramble on, at least for the first part of this the second round. At least listen to us, and then we'll be back tomorrow and wish you guys have a good night.
Have a good night.